I want to talk to you today about the power of a talisman. I've talked to so many people that want to use talisman in their work, but they're afraid of cultural appropriation. So I'm here today to let you know that all cultures throughout time and history have used talisman. And hear me out. As a creator and as an artist, first of all, number one, you can't help but to use your own energy and embed this into your work as you're building. This is just a natural process. As you're building, if you're staying to your true self, you're going to embed in your own symbolism, your thought process, and your power of building a talisman. Throughout time, all cultures have built talisman. You just have to look towards your own personal story and your own origin story. So, how do you get to your own origin story? To get your own origin story, I like to do a meditation with many people. When we're looking for our origin story, we're looking for where we come from. What is our own symbolism? First of all, a talisman, in defining a talisman, is an object that is thought to have magical powers and used as a good luck charm. That's pretty cool. In all cultures, like especially the European cultures, you know, we think of talisman as African or South American or Mexican, but it also came from I'm Eastern European, and I also have good stories that come from this culture as well. We just call them different names. We call them symbolism, amulets, reliquaries, good luck charms, milagros. These are all names that are very, very similar to talisman. So to get to your origin story, what I do is I will take people on a walk through a forest and just really put you into a deep meditative state where you can think about, you know, and you could see, feel. It's using all five of your senses, where you're looking around to see what type of water you're seeing, what power animals you see, what symbolism. And this gets you really close to your sacred objects and your own symbolism that you can use in your own work and in defining your brand and who you are. So this can be used for a number of different reasons. And it really is about getting into, when you're in this meditation, getting into what you feel, what you see, what you hear, what you taste. It's just a sensory experience. And from this, you come out of this meditation and you can record all of the information you found in this meditation. And the interesting thing is, for as many times as I've walked people through this meditation, every single person comes up with a different story about themselves. It's so interesting to see. You know, I love it. So afterwards, we write in our journal, we put down symbolism, we put down everything that, you know, it's important more of like what you felt and colors you saw and shapes you saw and all of this. So all of these are recorded. And then the next step to getting to your origin story, I say, is like really think about your background. What is your culture? Where are you from? And, you know, from there, then a good way to find out some history on your culture is through folk tales. And for me, my background in folk tales, I studied as an artist, and I spent so much time up at the field museums scouring objects, different objects that you eat with, that you drink with, that you fight with, that, you know, you wear as clothing, jewelry. I used to travel around the world, and I was a buyer, and I would sell to the Chicago galleries. So I was traveling, and I just started, like, because I was trained in art, I could see the beautiful symbolism woven into fabrics that were from different countries, from my own country. And, you know, the jewelry, the symbolism that was put in the jewelry and how pieces were built. There were pieces that were built of boxes and embedded with just different magical words or different magical objects inside of it when they were soldered together. And that really fascinated me. And, you know, every single culture, although they speak with a different type of work and a different voice, we all have our talisman. For instance, some of the folk tales that I have, I'm Eastern European, so some of our folk tales were Hansel and Gretel, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And also back in time, like the Arabian Nights, I remember that was Middle Eastern culture. But when you read these stories, they're actually history accounts where you can dig into it and go back in time and realize what the common folk people were thinking, like myself, what we were thinking. You can see a scarcity of food, a scarcity of survival, and when you think about good luck charms in Japan, they're fish, because that's the food source. So I really was able to see a link. All cultures use talisman in their work. So it's finding your origin story. So these are the steps. It's like the meditation. You find your personal symbolism, then you look into your background of where you've come from through different folk stories. And I have a couple of them with me today that I just wanted to bring in. I like to look at folk art, folk music, folk dance, and folk tales. And this is one of them that I thought was really interesting. It's Witches and Pagans. Who would pick this up? This book is actually Women in European Folk Religion. This book is embedded with historical detail and accurate accounts of how people lived in thinking about, life and what they built and just magic spells that they did, back in time. And it's interesting because we still have that in us. Here's another one with the Irish, and this is on myth and magic. And it's harnessing the power of the gods and goddesses. It's all about building talisman and your symbolism in there. So these are easily and accessible, and so interesting, any of these to read, researching your culture. And then as an artist and a builder, you cannot help when you get into your studio just to be able to, work through these symbolisms here. My origin is Polish, and I was using these little plus signs in my work. I make them in sterling silver. They're hollow forms, and they really are a source of a prayer box to me. And I actually, when I researched my family crest that came from Poland, I found this little plus sign on my family crest. So, it really gives me a sense of my own symbolism that came from my heritage and my culture. And this is, what is important. It's like once you can get into your origin story, you can become aligned. And with alignment, you really have clarity, and you really can build your real work from your heart that's meant to be out there in the world. I'm exploring deeply on another way that talisman could be used and really are made to be used, which is so interesting to me. So talisman are about when you put together pieces. I have a talisman that I'll be showing in this series too, of embedding my own words onto paper and then embedding it into a closed box, and maybe putting this under your pillow, or writing some words on a journal and folding it up and putting it under your pillow. It's the repetition of seeing or stamping words into a flat piece of metal. And it's the repetition of these words or symbolism that your mind sees over and over again. So whether it's about bringing abundance or bringing in power or bringing in luck or money or trips or a new house, whatever it is, it's about the repetition of this piece here that I have on it actually is a gathering of all these little pieces that I gathered out in Mexico when I was on a beautiful vacation, and putting it in here. So every time my eye glances at this piece, it reminds me of this beautiful vacation that I took. So it jars my mind, and happiness. It triggers me into happiness just thinking about it. And that is really in the sense of what a talisman is all about, to bring you into the emotion, to be able to manifest this into your life, right? So it's putting a note under your pillow as a talisman. And before you go to sleep at night, it's there. So you just, close your eyes and you think about that little manifestation under your pillow, and your mind goes there, and you lay down and you go to sleep, and now you're dreaming it. You're feeling it in all 5 of your senses, which is exactly what manifesting is all about. With building your own talisman, it would be, here's something really fun that you can just do with Talisman. One, I gave you the steps on finding your own origin and your symbolism. Please listen to the meditation that I have here. It's amazing, and you really will get close to feeling and researching your own symbolism. It helps you organize your thoughts. It's taking your organized thoughts and into your subconscious, and you're embedding seeds, and then writing them down and putting them under your pillows. Please do this meditation with me. I think you will really find it enjoyable. I'm going to be doing a lot more talks on a lot of the history that I have studied with talisman and how they're created and how we bring them into our modern day and current day lifestyle and how they help us in our manifestations. So I hope you enjoyed this talk, and I'll have more coming for you.